It's David from Southside Detail. Today I have this blue Audi S5 in for a paint correction. So I'll show you up close the condition of the paint. There are some minor scratches and swirls here and there. Overall the paint's not in terrible condition, but it could definitely be improved with the paint correction. The paint correction service will bring back that gloss, clarity, and color depth, and bring back that pop like the day it was bought from the dealership. I'll also detail the interior. I'll show you up close the condition, and we'll do an odor treatment as well because there's a slight odor my client wants removed to give back that fresh scent to the interior on top of getting it really clean. All right, let's inspect this Audi S5's paint up close. So you can see overall it does need a good wash. We got some bug guts going on here. And just overall the paint is looking pretty dull. And then I point my light on the paint and you can see a lot of swirls and scratches up here. And this is on the hood. There are some rock chips, not much we can do about that. Take a look up close here with the wheels. These German cars make a lot of brake dust, and you can see these wheels have a heavy brake dust accumulation that'll need to be cleaned. And here on the front fender, looks like there's some residue that's been on the front fender and needs to be washed off, along with a lot of scratching and marring. And up close on the mirror, we got more bugs that'll need to be washed off. This is a beautiful Audi S5, but after it's detailed, it's going to look even better. You can see there's some metallic flake in the paint, but you can see all the swirl marks that are covering up how good this paint can really look. And I know the sun is pretty bright here, but up close, my camera can pick up some of those swirls. You can see it's more apparent here on the trunk lid. All these scratches and swirls prevent the paint from having its maximum gloss and that color depth to this blue metallic paint. Again, here in the sunlight, it's pretty evident. You can see those scratches and those swirls. And now taking a look at the interior, you can see the door jambs are pretty filthy. That'll need a good cleaning. And then moving into the interior, these floor mats will need to be washed. The leather's looking pretty dull. Definitely will need to have a good cleaning and conditioning for these leather seats. And then clean all these surfaces like the shifter and the cup holders. Overall, it's not too dirty in the interior, but it looks like it hasn't been detailed in a while. So I'll be doing a full interior detail as well for this interior. So I start by cleaning the floor mats. First I apply an all-purpose cleaner, and then you can see I follow up with a drill brush to get inside all those grooves, and I thoroughly rinse it off with my pressure washer. Move on to the interior with compressed air and a thorough vacuuming to get all inside these grooves here with the seats, dashboard, and the cup holders. Again, this is my air gun to blow out all that dust and debris. Then I give the door jambs a good cleaning. Then I move on to cleaning all the interior surfaces like the door cards here, inside the handles and the window switches. Moving on to the driver's seat. Really thoroughly clean that steering wheel, get all the body oils and any other food residue that can start to accumulate, including the shifter. Then I clean and condition these leather seats. You can see how dirty my scrub pad gets after just one pass. And the conditioner brings these seats back to life and gives them that nice, soft, supple feel, and also gives them protection going forward. Next, I apply a plastic conditioner to all the plastics and vinyls for this S5. Again, it's been a while since it's been detailed, so the plastics are looking pretty dry. So this will condition the plastics and give it back some UV protection as well. Next here, I apply the odor treatment. This odor treatment does a good job of removing any odors in your interior. Even though if your interior is clean, some persistent odors will remain. So these two tablets get activated once I apply water here in this container. And once the interior is all prepped, I get all the floor mats and seat belts down, including the visors, to make sure every surface is covered to get all the odors out of the interior.
I turn the air on to recirculate, and I add some water, and immediately an invisible gas starts getting released in the interior to remove these odors. After about 50 minutes, I open the doors, and a fresh scent is left over for the interior. Next, I move on to cleaning the exterior, here with the strong wheel cleaner to break down all that brake dust with different wheel mitts and brushes. And then lastly, I clean the tires with a stiff brush to break down all that old tire dressing that has remained on the tires. Then I give the exterior a good rinse. Then I set up my foam cannon and apply the shampoo to the exterior. And the shampoo will start breaking down that dirt and act like a lubricant as I manually agitate all that dirt off the surface for this Audi. I work in top to bottom motions and periodically cleaning my wash mitt in my bucket. And don't forget areas here like the gas cap. Here I am working in straight lines, cleaning the hood, working top to bottom again. After I've washed the body, I clay the surface. This clay mitt picks up contaminants that get on the paint and including the glass. So this is an important step before polishing the paint to make sure any contaminants that didn't get washed with my wash media get taken off with the clay mitt. This will leave the paint extra clean and smooth, again ready to be polished. Next, I measure the paint, 5 mils of paint, overall on the trunk lid, 4.5 on the roof, indicating this is factory paint. And I'll check out all these swirl marks in my paint correction light. You can see these are all scratches that have added up over time for this Audi S5. A lot of these happen from car washes, going through those tunnel washes, and incorrect washing techniques. So I do a test spot here with my polish and polishing pad to see the results I get with this one-step polish my client decided to agree on. And then take a look, you can see where I didn't polish, and now this section where it is polished, you can see that blue has a lot deeper of a rich look to it with a lot more gloss. And we can say about 70 to 80% of those scratches and swirls are removed, leaving behind a really nice finish. And again, take a look where I did not polish, you can see it's a lot more dull, and we have all these swirls and scratches going on. Now check out the hood, you can see it's in really bad condition. So whether if it was going through express washes or not, you can see there's a lot of scratches that have added up over time onto this hood. So it's completely covered in these swirl marks and scratches. Got some deeper scratches as well in the middle. So I get going here, working in a section, polishing again with that combination. I figured out that worked for the rear fender. So this will remove, again, about 70 to 80% of those scratches and swirls and really improve the gloss and clarity and bring back that color depth. And then I wipe off the polish. Now take a look. This is a section I just polished. Huge difference. Take a look here where I have not polished. You can see all these lines. These are these scratches. And it really makes the paint look faded compared to here where it is polished. And has that rich, deep look to it. Again, this side has not been polished and it looks old and faded, and it's all scratched. Really preventing from this paint looking as good as it can, as you can see where it has been polished. Then I move on to the rest of the car. Again, this is a before I polish. And then I move on to polishing this section. This is with a smaller pad to get inside this tighter section of this pillar for this roof. I wipe off the polish and I'll check out the after results. A big difference. You can see all those scratches and swirls are removed. And it leaves behind a nice glossy, deep appearance to the paint. And I move on to the rest of the car with my 3-inch pad here for smaller areas like the front bumper and my nano polisher for the fog light area. And here's another awesome before and after. This trunk lid's all scratched up as well, similar to the hood. Again, the whole trunk is scratched up with some deeper scratches. And I move on to polishing again, working in sections. And now check out the results after it's been polished. There's a big difference. And this is the section that has not been polished. And you should be able to see the big difference compared to this section that has been polished. That depth of color is restored, including the clarity and the gloss. And then finally, I polish the door jambs to get rid of some scratches from walking in and out of your car. And then by hand, I clean these exhaust tips. You can see there's a lot of exhaust soot that's built up over time. I clean them first. You can see all that soot on my towel. Then a metal polish I apply to the exhaust tips, and I work it in by hand. It does a good job at bringing back a lot of that luster to the metal. Not all of it will go away, but it does bring back a nice luster to the metal. Now with the paint all polished and looking really good, I apply a sealant to add some protection and added gloss. And this is with DIY Detail Ceramic Gloss. This paint sealant will protect your paint from contaminants, such as dirt and any other contaminants from daily driving. And a big benefit, it'll make washing your car a lot easier going forward. And then finally here, I clean up the exterior glass. And I'll check out this Audi in the sunlight. Talk about a huge difference compared to when it was dropped off. This paint looks brand new. It's reflecting the sunlight in every angle. It just looks incredible. Take a look at that up close in the sunlight. You can see all that blue and metallic flake just popping out. Even the wheels look refreshed and brighter again. This Audi looks really, really good. Again, this is with this one-step polish. Really made a significant difference into the paint. You can see all that metallic flake again popping out here in the sunlight. What a beautiful car. When this Audi was first dropped off, the paint was looking really dull. It was dirty. It looked like it hadn't been washed in a long time. But now take a look at that hood. Look at all that depth to the paint. The sunlight's just reflecting right back at you, and it gives you that depth of color to that paint and so much gloss because of those scratches and swirls were removed from this paint. Paint correction service really makes a big difference if you're trying to revive your paint and give it that new look again. Again, these wheels look so good as well. It just complements how good that paint looks now. I also polish the taillights, and those are all glossed up as well. Once again, mention how good this paint looks. And now moving to the interior. The interior definitely needed some love. And now it's all cleaned up. You can see all that dust and whatever debris, body oils on the seats are all removed. Cleaned and conditioned. This leather's looking really good. It also feels really soft. Gotta love those S5 seats. And these all-weather floor mats are all cleaned up as well. This Audi S5 looks really good. And these door jambs were polished too. You can see how reflective they look as well.
This Audi S5 is all done. That decontamination wash and of course the paint correction made a huge difference to how the paint looks now. When it was brought in, it was very faded. As you saw, there was a lot of scratch marks that just made the paint look dull and old. Now the beauty was restored for this Audi S5. Such a sweet looking car, and now it looks so good detailed. The wheels were really dirty, tons of brake dust. Now look how bright the silver looks on these wheels. Again, going back to the paint, you got a lot more richness, clarity, and pop to the paint. So again, a full decontamination wash was done. I clayed it to remove the contaminants off the paint, and that one-step polish, as you saw, made all the world difference to bring this paint back to life. This was about 2 days of work. Again, I started with the interior, got that all cleaned up, cleaned the door jambs. I even polished the door jambs, cleaned the trunk area. got the interior fully detailed. Let me know what you thought of the video. This is David from Southside Detail. Like and subscribe.